Inspired, vibrant, award-winning, celebrity, bespoke. 5 Rivers. The difference is in the detail.
This programme is sponsored by 5 Rivers Restaurant, Walsall.
Hanji dosto, we're here at Leamington Gurdwara Sahib in the library room. Normally in the day it's full of students learning about Sikhi, but today we have a very special guest, Sangat's date with the great. अपना संदीप सिंह AK काका मोहनवालिया भाजी सत श्री अकाल वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा
वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह. You've given me too much respect. I was saying to Baji earlier, it's got to be, what was the name again? The interview with the
Sangat's date with the great.
Sangat's date with the great
Yet.
fool.
No,
Anything like that. Make sure you fix that bit on the end.
No, it's
no, definitely.
The whole point of this program, we're about 3 or 4 episodes into it, and our main idea at Sangat TV was to interview people, Punjabi Sikh, apne community de vich, youngsters, could be middle-aged, could be the elderly, that have done great in our community, whether it's through religion, our Sikhi. And I've read up on you about, so much through your messages on Facebook, daily messages on Sikhi. And, for such a youngster, you've got a lot of knowledge. Born in 1981, I don't want to embarrass you too much. 28, 29?
No, 30 now.
30?
These are low, yeah.
ठीक है जी. Born and bred in Leamington?
Yeah, Leamington. Born and bred Leamington. Like you said, great things. We've done great things, and these kind of. I remember seeing you at shows and stuff, and you know what it used to be like. And to be honest, even taking part in this sort of interview, there's many great real people who should be doing these interviews. I suppose the way I'm looking at it, I've been thinking to myself, because hankar or an ego within someone like myself, it exists. I openly would say that, of course it does. And doing this sort of stuff, I've shied away from it. It's fueling, if you like. But there's 2 sides to every coin, and the fact that you say I've been able to do something great, or you feel that, which I appreciate that a lot, obviously, because I don't think I've ever been capable of doing anything which someone would say you've done something great. It's always been about me, and that's what my life's always been about. Before I discovered this path, it was always about me and my friends and my people and the people I was with. But the fact you're just saying you've done something great, it in a way it's humbling that.
पता किया कई बारी है ना थानू आप नहीं पता हुंदा. Other people realize, whether it's through an event at the Gurdwara Sahib, a religious event outside somewhere, koi Vaisakhi de program ya, whether you've spoken to some youngster and you've given him the right advice. Talking about your Sikhi Sarup, how long have you being a turban Sikh? Is it something recently or?
Yes. 3 years. It's been nearly coming up to 3 years.
Okay.
Life totally ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਮੋੜ ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ
ਹਾਂਜੀ
very unexpected mode. Never thought this would, well, that's a lie, I wouldn't say never thought. It's always been deep inside me that this religion that I'm born into, not just this religion, I must say that I'm not Sikhi,
yeah.
Islam, Hindu. I love them all. I tell you the truth, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
And when I see a lot of people being told, you know, Hindu, I understand there's bad people in every religion, but
yes,
but our religion is very, very special, and it does need to be known, and I think that's what the rest of my life's about, really, to push that message.
Was you born into a good Sikh family, or to get to this point in life, did you have to make mistakes, realise the path I'm on, it's the wrong path, you know, whether it's to do with a bad experience in life, could be the use of alcohol, or...
I knew from a young age. I weren't born straight into a family of Sikh. My parents' side, where what you like, if you call a remix,
yeah,
they believe in they believe in everything. They're very religious. My dad's very religious. In Baba Balaknath nu mande hunde si in my village. Bahut zyada paida hote si Baba Balaknath ji in the mountains. As a kid, I used to go to a mandir in Coventry, and I openly tell people I used to play dolki there. That's where I've learnt rhythm. From a mandir ਜਿੱਥੇ ਭੇਟਾਂ ਗਾਉਂਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ, and I went there. I used to watch from a young age. ਕਈ ਸਾਡੇ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਧਰ ਲੱਗ ਗਏ, but I used to go there, and all respect to wherever places, and Baba Balaknath was a Bhagat in their own right, very, very, only Bhagati ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ till the age of 12 years old, and I learnt a lot from there in the sense about the purpose of life, but what I didn't realise was the original message that was being given out was actually the message from Gurbani, because people have picked that message up, and you can use it. If I start my own religion off one day and turn around and say, this is the purpose of your life, this is what my religion says, Kaka saying a religion, people are so mad today, they'll start following me. I mean, you know the score, what's going on, but what most people don't understand is the key concepts are they're all from Gurbani. Everything people seem to be taking is from Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, and I'm going off on a tangent quite a bit, which is going to happen, I think. When you say the family, like I said, my dad was on that side, not deeply religious, but then my mum, she says when she basically, I was about to be born, she had a dream. My mum always tells me this, and Guru Gobind Singh Ji come in a dream and gave her an apple. So she's always told me this, and that apple, she reckons it was me. I don't know how I'd be an apple, but anyway. But she turned around and said that's what happened. And when I was born, she took Amrit, and she went on her own path. And she's ever since she's been Amritari, and it's had an influence, no doubt about it. Does definitely have an influence. But she never ever said you're going to follow Sikh. Never even. But I did used to go to programs and stuff with her when I was young. Played dolki with the Bibi here and there, and this sort of stuff. So it had its influences in that sense, but not in a. I wasn't really pushed towards my religion. I was too much of a rebel. If you know, I was always I got kicked out of schools. I got kicked out of here, there, everywhere. From Gib, and you know the school with the young lads. And then as I grew up, it accumulated. And I went to the desi typical, you know, Punjabi boy life for a good 10 years, I'd say.
Where did the change come then? Was it through music? Did you have any role models, people close to you? Because you know, I mean, I've read up on you a bit, and you're very close with the very famous Bhaji Sukhshinder Shinda.
Yes, of course, I'll tell you the best way to explain it is, like I said, for someone to understand where I've come from, rhythm started coming me, like I said, from that mandir. There was playing dolki there, and very little knowledge of rhythm, dolki, etc. From there, it just happened that God, Waheguru himself, brought into my life one of the most talented guys I'd ever seen, and was amazed by. This is before anyone knew him, and that's Aman Hair.
Aman Hair, okay.
Aman Hair. It started from him when
we
were at college.
From,
he's been my best friend from day one. From college, he kind of took me under his shade, if you like, and he was just next level. You know, when I saw that guy playing Dole, and obviously I was in rhythm, Dolgi, and I was just like, what is this guy? The talent he had.
Just going to break it up there, because, you know, sometimes in Sikhi, you know, we've got this sort of, I don't know whether it's a percentage or whether it's most, that they're very anti-Bhangra, or they're very anti-Dole, very anti-Dolki. But, you know, I'm sure somewhere along the line, the Dole, the Dolki, Bhangra dancing has got a connection with our religion.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's you could say it's controversial, the word. It is controversial, the word. I think basically I'm open about what I say, and there's nothing wrong with someone learning to play a Dole, tabla, Dolki. Okay, it's not the perfect thing. If you want to do the perfect thing, you need to stop. Like what we're doing to talk about today, Bollywoodization of Kirtan. Normal Kirtan with the bhajan needs to stop. You need to go right back to the basics. You know, I'd use the word extreme, right? What extreme do you go to, right? Where do you draw the line? And if it weren't for these instruments, if it weren't for God guiding me, these instruments and this music, I wouldn't be in a Sikh today. There's no doubt about it.
This programme is sponsored by Five Rivers Restaurant, Walsall.
Inspired. Vibrant. Award-winning. Celebrity. Bespoke. Five Rivers. The difference is in the detail.
This programme is sponsored by Five Rivers Restaurant, Walsall.
You sang a religious song on BBC Asian Network Live, was it?
Yes.
What was the ball to that dharmic song?
That's a Robina Chalya Janda, Singa Sardaar. It's more a cultural, it's a crossover. What I've realised since I've become a Singh, and I'll go to the bit, like it's best for people watching, the whole reason of doing the interview, if one person is inspired by a fool like me, it is, I honestly think of that. It's one thing to just say, and people follow me, but I mean it from my heart. I feel the dust off people's feet. I really feel that when it comes to this religion and what our gurus did, like the stories of Guru Arjan Dev Ji cleaning the shoes, and yet I'm sitting here, I don't want to come across, and I don't feel that inside. I really feel inside that the Sangat and the people, they are God, humans are God, and that's the level you got to understand. And it takes time how we've maybe started to feel like this, taking Amrit and meditation and things like this. We've been doing quite a bit in Leamington. It was about 3 years ago. I was at a wedding in Coventry, and I got bored. It was totally just boredom, and I got up and wandered off to a room like this in the Gurdwara in Harnell Lane, and there was a old Babaji there on the stall selling gotke and other stuff, literature, a bit like this on Sikhi and Kadek. And I went up to him, and after seeing, my mum, like we talk about, after seeing Jazzy Bhaji, Shinda Bhaji, and all these people inspiring me towards this way, a question come from deep within me, and I don't know what made me ask it, but I said to him, obviously I just got married, and I thought, what's the next stage in life? I said, Baba, मैं पाठ करना शुरू करना चाहता, because I remember seeing my mum, seeing Jazzy B doing part and Bhaji and talking about it, and he just turned around and he was the most amazing old man. I don't think I'll ever find him. Keep done Guru Nanak ki ho sakdi si, Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj ji ho sakdi. I'll never know. And obviously in a different route, but I believe these things quite deeply. And he turned around and he was so straight to the point. He said, Ahmed, he turned around, he got like a vodka, you see in the films, wiped the dust off it, and he gave it to me, And he said, Afar, he said, Japji Sahib the part karne, he goes, inu kapde ch lapet ke, he goes, "Ye Maharaj da saroop hai ya. This is your guru."
Yeah.
And he said, take it. He goes, Japji Sahib the part shuru karna. And he said, pehla, he goes, kade mod ke miss nahi karna. He goes, the power will come to you. He goes, you will start attaining power. And I was like, at that point, it was like, your world starts spinning.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like a film, you think special powers, you think, you watch films and whatever, and I was just like, I had loads of questions. And he goes, "Galle chhod koi hai hi nahi. You can ask questions all night." He goes, "Tu bas part shuru kar, tab miss nahi karna kade bhi." He goes, "Tu dekhi Japji Sahib na, tera sara kuch badal jana." And I was like, oh, well, what I mean, taken back big time. And I took the Gotka, obviously, from him, and I just wandered off. And I was at a wedding. I put it in the car, and I went off. Slowly, the world of Maya and Kaljug sucked me in again.
Yeah.
I forgot all about it.
Okay.
I forgot about the Gotka. Obviously, took it home, put it away. But a month later, I was sitting with my friends in London after a show, and they were drinking. I was driving Kudati on this day.
Yeah.
Again, all these things happen for a reason, I think. And they started talking, saying, "You know what, your life's like a ruler." One of my friends, he's quite into, he knew more knowledge than me, let's say, and we were sitting there, and they were drinking at the same time, and they go, "Your life's like a ruler, think about it, what are we doing?" And he goes, 50% of our life we're going to spend sleeping.
Yeah.
The next 25% we'll probably spend eating, doing things. That leaves 25% of our life. When we go up to Dharmaraj's Adalat, Dharmaraj's court in the next realm, when they say to us, "This was your life, 50% this, 50% eating, 25% this, watching football, this, did you even remember God? That much.
Yeah.
But what have you done?
Yeah.
Even that much, what will they say to us?" And you know what? At that point, it was like a smack in the face. In my heart, ripped out. I'm telling you, I was sitting there, and I was just like, and this is a month after that Gotka thing, I'd done nothing.
Yeah.
What the Babaji told me, I'd done nothing. And when he said that, something, that sprout, the seed, that when I spoke to the Baba, the seed that started to open up inside, that's just grew a bit faster. And on the way home, I was quiet all the way. My friends were drunk, they're in the back. I said, "Turn the music off." I went home, I couldn't sleep. I knew something, that at that point, I didn't really know what's going on. In hindsight, I realise now, the light of Waheguru himself, and without question, the light of God, Waheguru, Allah, whatever you want to call it, Ram, it come and it switched on so powerfully, and God knew he was going to get me and turn me. And it was all his doings, there's nothing I done, it was all his doings, but he wanted me to make a move. At this point, God wanted me to make a move, and the next morning I couldn't sleep. I woke up early, nobody was up. I found a Ramal, showered up, found a Ramal. I went to look for the Gotka Sahib that Baba gave me. I found it, I looked everywhere, I couldn't find it. I found it, and at this point I opened it, and I thought to myself, right, I'm now going to read the message, because I asked the Babaji when I got the Gotka who wrote this, and he said, "Etan Guru Nanak Dev Ji de aap likhiyan, hath likhiya, hath likhat ona de e sab bole." Every single word is authentic, written by the king himself. And I think many people don't realise that even now. Like, that is so powerful. It's like, Guru Nanak Dev Ji wanted to send me a text message now, how shocked would I be? This is the same thing. It's a text, it's an email, it's the same thing straight from them. So I sat there, and I'm telling you, I opened it up. Ek Onkar Satyanam Kartapur Knirpao Nirveh. And you know what? I was reading that, then I went to the other side. God is one. Without fear, everything. I was reading it, and I was reading it in English, to be honest, first. And every single hair, I'm not just saying this, I swear to you, every single hair on my body must have been standing up. If it was now, it would but you know what I mean? And I tell you, I sat there and I read halfway. I couldn't read any further because I was so I was always sweating. I was so taken aback. And from that point onwards, that day, I knew these words, this Shabad, this contains the power. This is
going to change your whole life.
We look for God in this. We look for Guru Nanak Dev Ji's pictures, and I realised that it's all within the writings. You recite these words; it's like a matrix.
You had your original sign when you met the Babaji at the Gurdwara Sahib.
Babaji, yes.
And like you said, you just put the Gotka away, and
then the talk with the friends made me remember, and then that was my chance to act. I think he tested me. Had I not acted, who knows? Maybe that's where man has his control in things and his destiny. But from then on, I'd made a decision that very day. I'm never ever, till the day I die, till the final day I meet my death, I am not going to miss hearing the words or reciting the words of Japji Sahib. At least hearing at first. It was hearing.
Good.
Yeah, it was done. It was no question.
This programme is sponsored by Five Rivers Restaurant, Walsall.
Inspired, vibrant, award-winning, celebrity, bespoke. Five Rivers. The difference is in the detail.
This programme is sponsored by Five Rivers Restaurant, Walsall.
We mentioned role models, Sukshinder Shindapaji, Jazzy B, Aman Hair. Someone else was close to you, passed away a few years ago when I think you was 20, 21.
Oh, yes.
You Nani Ji.
Yeah. When I was
Who was a role model for you?
Yeah, basically
also?
my mum and that used to be at work, and my dad used to be at work, and my nanny bought me and my family loads. We got quite a few Marcia and quite a big family, and she brought loads of us up together, and she was like our mother basically as well. She was very close to me obviously all my life as I was a kid, up until my 21st birthday. On the actual day, August the 21st, 2002, she died in front of me, right in front of me, and this was like someone who had done everything for you all your life, everything. And so I was on her deathbed. I was there, standing in front of her. I think whatever time, door with a den with whatever in the hospital. She was quite old, 80 odd years old, and at that point it struck me that what the hell is life about? Death. What the hell's death? What's going on? How are you supposed to cope with this? And then the funeral, going to see a body in a casket, and it's even like it become, I don't know what the word is. I've become so scared, if you like, scared and hated the word death. Even the word death used to be like, no, death, budjo, run, horrible, opposite to life, run away, disgusting, whatever. Really, really bad feeling installed inside me about death. Seeing it, and it was something I was afraid of, something I didn't want to tackle, an issue within, and I think it happens to everybody. I'm pretty sure it does happen to everybody. And that in itself, I think, was meant to happen to show me that this is life. Like I know in hindsight, everything's in hindsight, and now I see that the whole reason for all that was my dad saying, this is it, this is when you have to leave your hotel stay and you got to check out. And at that point, if I carried on my life as it was, every single time I see a death or hear of a death, whether it be a famous singer, whether it be a friend or a family member, it was hitting. Ever since, like obviously things change when you come on this path. You understand that is your life basically. Death is the main part of it.
The star, your turban looks very nice.
Thank you.
Pure robe na banni hai. 3 years you said that you've been tying a turban. Basically. Okay, you learned to tie the turban from Shindabaji.
This was one of my worries. You see, but what happened when I decided after reading Japji Sahib, a couple of months later, the story went further. I'll come to the turban. What ended up happening was after this I started excelling faster, and I'm telling you, once you get the bug, the seed, we should call it a bug, the seed starts sprouting, you want to go faster. And this is why I think the key part being taking action, deciding, making a decision. I'm going to read this part. You have to make that decision, because that decision is what spurs you further. And then months had gone on, and I'd started becoming very fluent in the part by listening to it at the same time and reading it. Soon I could start doing it without listening to it. I can just recite it with, not off by heart, but the words become natural because you can speak Punjabi and stuff. And then what happened after that, I met a friend of mine who's in London again. They're two brothers, very close to me, and he said to me, well, I was talking to him and I said to him, this was on my 21st birthday, not 21st birthday, 28th birthday,
28th birthday.
the night before my 28th birthday. And he goes to me, well, I said to him, what's the hardest part of actually becoming Amritdhari? Because that's when you've done it, like you've started, you're enrolled in Guru Gobind Singh Ji Sikhi then. And I said, what's the hardest part of Sikhi, do you think? And I said, because the Bhat thing's so enjoyable, it's beautiful, you wake up fresh. A guy who used to wake up with hangovers and have a horrible day for so long in his life, waking up fresh and feeling buzzing and training, and you know what, it's the ultimate high, I'm telling you honestly, for someone who's thinking about even taking this step, it is the ultimate life. And then basically he goes to me, you know what, he does part himself, he's very inspiring. Another guy, Rajuddin Newala, he's actually another singer now.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was very inspirational. Another guy who did part, and I used to see him doing part when he used to wake up, and inspired me a lot. And he said to me, the hardest part for me is the roob. He goes, keeping your gaze, because I just can't break out and do it. When he said that, straight away, it hit me that, you know what, this is nothing. What else is there to it? How hard can that be? And I sat there, and again, there's a point in front of me, and I was still drinking at the time, not out of choice, it was more out of society pressures, and he was, and he said that, and you know what, they started talking about stuff, and my head kept going on. You know what, keeping case is your license to get out of this life. If you want to get out of this society, who has ever, if you look around you, if you find a person who never kept his case, who used to drink and live the normal life, who wants a way out, I think you'll struggle to find a person who hasn't kept his case and gave up, say if he smokes or if he drinks and does other stuff. You won't find many people who quit everything and follow a path of Sikhi, but they don't keep the case. This is like a barrier. And that night I was there, and I remember when he said that this is the hardest part. It all happens for a reason, and I remember going home saying to my wife, this is it, I'm never ever cutting my hair again. And she obviously probably, yeah, right, whatever, you know, like, and I said it to one or two people, and I made my mind up. I said, from now on, I'm never going to come. Well, actually, I was thinking about it. Then in the morning, I listened to some katha on Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj and how they gave up everything, you know, for people of today. Some people forget that it's for us that they did it, and how they sacrificed their sons, and how much they'd done for us, and you know, Machi Wala Jungle, how they lied there without even shoes, bhatti kapde, and they did it all for knowing that people like us today will stand up and become and live life as Sikhs. And at this point, when I heard this katha, I'll tell you, I was almost in tears. It's a very powerful kavishri I've got, which I'm going to put up on like my website and stuff to inspire others. It played a big part. It's very, very powerful. It's about the Battle of Jamkar and how Maharaj found, Baba Jujhar Singh Ji, when Bhai Daya Singh Ji, the way they explained it was walking behind Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, and Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj walks a few steps ahead, and Bhai Daya Singh Ji behind him after the Battle of Jamkar, and there's a battlefield of dead Sikhs everywhere. There's endless dead Sikhs on a thundery night. And Guru Gobind Singh Ji walks forward, and as they turn back, they can't hear Bhai Daya Singh Ji, and they look back in this, and Bhai Daya Singh Ji's there, and on his laps he's got Baba Jujhar Singh Ji, their son, the dead body, and he's holding it. And Uni Mena Maharaj said to them, how can you just walk straight past your son's body? He saw it, saw it on the floor, and how can you walk straight past it? What kind of father are you? You're the greatest king of the world, you're God in human form. How could you walk past your son? At least you could have just given him a glance. And at that point, Guru Gobind Singh Ji turned around and said to him, until I've not covered every single body of my other Khalsa sons, because you only see one, what about all these thousands you see? And he said, until I don't do that, he says, there's no farq, not one bit of farq between, and what that's saying is, there's no farq between you, me, or anyone. How powerful are these things? And when I heard this, there's no thinking about it. There's no, shall I do this or shall I do that? Shall I keep my kids? Shall I not? And I've got my razors, I've got my shaving things, I've got every single thing, and I slammed them in the bin. And I was pumped up, and I said, you know what? If I ever have to cut another hair in my face, my body, anywhere, I'd rather die. For Guru Gobind Singh Ji, what they've done, and this is what these things are inspiring, you know. And I was so adamant. I didn't care if anyone was with me or nobody, whoever backed me, or get a lot of negative and whatnot, my decision was made from that point.
You're always going to get negative. You're going to get positives. You're always going to get negatives. Any message? What does the future hold for you? If there's a few words you'd like to say for the Sangat viewers.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I can't say what the future holds. The planner knows the future. If I'd said, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I can't say that. The future is already planned by the Creator. He knows what's going to happen, and I'll just leave it to Him. He's going to guide us, and the past was all created by Him. It wasn't done by me. Everything that's happened in the past, the present day, today, He sent you guys, and I was reluctant to do these interviews for a long time, but now I've kind of woken up to realise that, there's a need to reach out to people who Pracharaks are not going to reach out to.
Yeah.
If I'm standing shoulder to shoulder with great brothers like Jazzy B and Sukhshinder Shindar, young kids are going to all of a sudden pay attention.
Yeah.
And if I'm doing music, they might think, oh, you know what I mean? And that's the simple concept behind it. I know a lot of people might think, oh, no, Marashaki, they're still involved in this, but until a voice from inside tells me, stop doing all this and just become a household sing and don't try and inspire others, then maybe then I'll stop. But I think that's all I know for the future.
There you go, ਭਾਈ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ
This programme is sponsored by Five Rivers Restaurant, Walsall.
Inspired, vibrant, award-winning, celebrity, bespoke. Five Rivers. The difference is in the detail.
This programme is sponsored by Five Rivers Restaurant, Walsall.